know why the North will never want to allow Peter Obi to become president? Now, when I talk about North, I'm not talking about the Christian North. I'm talking about the Islamic North. So why would they not want a person like Peter Obi to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? At a glance, or cautiously, you will want to think that it's because Peter Obi is an Igbo man. Of course, while there may be some truth in that, the real truth is this. Most of these core Northerners thrive in the abnormality of the system that drives Nigeria. The truth is that they know that in a free and fair context, whether in economics, whether in politics, whether in virtually all walks of life, they stand at a disadvantage. Because before independence, the South has already been placed at a higher advantage in education. Today, most Northerners do not believe that the purpose of education is to have a better life. Perhaps to them, the purpose of education is just to speak English, but the real purpose of the real way to power is by subverting the system that drives the country. Now, a person like Peter Obi, they will not want a person like Peter Obi to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for one top reason, one overriding reason. And the reason is this. When Peter Obi started using statements like you want to change Nigeria from consumption to production, first and foremost, before we even begin to talk about the North, statements like that are statements that will not go down well with the West. Because the West will perpetually want Africa to be dependent. And to be dependent, you must be a consuming country. So when a country begins to think that it wants to change its attitude from a consuming nation to a production nation, that means for you to be a producing nation, you are thinking about being independent. Being independent means that you want to start using your own resources for your own production. For there to be production, there must be resources, there must be raw materials. And it is these raw materials that has continuously developed the West. So when an African country starts thinking about self-subsistence, it means they'll start using their raw materials for themselves. That the West will never allow. From production, we'll start thinking about producing our own technology, producing our own weaponry, producing our own aeroplane, producing our own weapons, producing our own food, producing our own technology, producing our own mechanized farming, and all of that. And before you know it, we'll have a sustainable economy that goes around and sustains everybody. Now, Peter Obi represents that person that will thwart a flawed system. I tell you the truth that the North is the most beneficiary of this failed system. Because we are talking about somebody who becomes power, who comes into power, whether you're educated or not, you will be in the House of Assembly. Whether you have a PhD or is low class or nothing, just speak a few English, you will be in the House of Assembly, cutting away billions of naira for doing nothing. Trust me, I grew up in the North, and I know what it is. Before I gained admission, I tried my JAMB 3 good times until I got admission into University of Maiduguri. And in the first batch list, I scored 264. Then, in registering my courses, I saw myself registering with people that had 179. In first batch list. That means in subsequent batches, batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, we might have people with 120. So, that is the realism of our situation. And they fear that a person like Peter Obi will bring about a system that rewards hard work. And for there to be hard work, there must be competition. And one thing the North never likes is competition. The North will never subject itself to any competition because they will fail. What type of competition will they do? Sports, they will fail. Academics, they will fail. If JAM is reading, if we take off cutoff marks, less educationally developed states, and let there be just one straight admission in all our universities, the South will occupy all the federal universities. Now, when people begin to pride themselves in nomenclatures that belittles their identity, I'm from a less educationally developed place, and therefore I can actually read and score maybe 150 in JAM because I'm from a less educationally developed place, I will still gain admission. Such people will not be wired to succeed. The reason why you find out the Igbos are more successful is because they've been bedeviled with so many instances of challenges. Trust me, people who are faced with daily challenges excel more in life because as you surmount those challenges, you create many ways and many creative attitudes. And the more challenges you face, the more creativity you evolve. For me, I think in Nigeria, the Igbos are the most creative. That is why they are more inventive in their approach to life. Trust me, if Nigeria becomes truly independent and with a mentality of self-sufficiency, I will tell you that the Igbos will produce their aeroplanes, they will produce their cars. They're already producing cars. They will produce virtually everything. Now, for fear of that in a country of the Igbos will overrun us with their invention and attitude to development, the North will never like that because it will shortchange them. If we truly make Nigeria where people with merit are the ones that take charge of Nigeria, definitely a lot of people will be shortchanged. Now, Nigeria is so funny that the people with the actual knowledge are not the ones that runs the country. When you watch our Senate, our House of Rep members, when they speak, when they talk, when they exhibit ideas, you begin to wonder if these are the people who are actually spending millions of naira to make laws and ideas for us. I'm not saying yours truly can say better, but of course, you know the way I speak and I talk a lot better than the idiots we have in our Senate. So it's so funny that the real idea or the real reason why these people are working very hard to see that they don't have an Igbo presidency goes beyond their negative sentiments against Igbo. It is purely that they want to sustain this system that enables them to eat while they don't work. It is actually a case of monkey they walk, baboon they chop. And until we begin, like Kanayo said in his recent podcast with Nedu, he said that until we allow an Igbo man to become the president of Nigeria, then we will understand why Nigeria has been backward. That I totally agree, 100%. But the North will not allow a system that enables competition. Because in a competitive system, in a competitive environment, they will definitely be shortchanged. So until we are ready to allow a system that only rewards hard work, Nigeria will continue to wobble in this ocean of emptiness, suffering, and lack and poverty.
All right, guys, welcome to my channel, guys. So I would say that what Nigerians need right now, in order for Nigeria to be revived again, is God. All right, forget about all the political promises. That's because that's exactly what happened when Tinubu newly came into power. Before he came, there was a lot of promises, honestly speaking. And these things have been happening for a very long time. Politicians comes up and they tells us, oh, I will give you electricity. And the other ones will say, oh, there will be you will no longer pay school fees. This one. And all these are the strategies they've been using to getting us to vote for them and accept them. All right. Had it been that there was a massive protest when Tinubu won that election against P2B and Atiku, I think by now most persons would have been very, very careful with what they do. Well, anyways, let's pay attention to what P2B said in this video.
Question asked earlier about comments of Governor Wike yesterday. There's something he talked about. When he was talking, the one I think he mentioned was when he talked about issue of integrity. He said that even my going questions my integrity. I don't know how that word came in, but I think when we talk about integrity, we should talk about the integrity in management of public resources. That is what we should be talking about in this country. And when such things are mentioned about me, I feel maybe there's something missing somehow. But let me correct the first impression. He said it's about dumping them. I didn't dump any. My party is like an association. You have freedom of association. You have freedom to go in, freedom to go out. It's a relationship thing. And when you go into a relationship, in an association, you go in there for a reason. And if you feel that maybe the activities that you go on is at variance with your own person and your principles, the only thing you can do is to quietly, decently, leave the place. And that's what I did. You could see my right up to the chairman of the party. There was no tone there that shows any quarrel or anything. I thank them for the opportunity of being their member, opportunity of associating myself there, and said, going on, I found out that I can no longer continue because of some activities I believe that are at variance with my person and my principles.
What kind of
things
are
it's personal to me,
okay.
Quite frankly. There's nothing. It's just like I always tell people, the process through which you get into arrive at any destination, especially when it comes to seeking a public office, Seyi is as fundamental as what you do thereafter. So for me, I want to be able to follow a process that I believe in. Some people will tell you, do anything, when you get there, you can correct it. No, I don't believe in that. The process must be same as what I do thereafter. As a politician, I have campaigned, I've gone around this country, I've done what I'm supposed to do, presented myself to the people, and if I found out there's other things I might not be able to be part of, I recently withdrew myself. I came into a system, and I was part of that system. I stayed there throughout the years I was in PDP. Nobody can question my loyalty to the party. I participated in everything, and when I'm going out, I didn't go out in a cross situation. I did it so decently because I have right to do so. I'm not desperate to be president. Not am I desperate to be anything. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work, especially for the youths of this country. It's not about, I keep saying, it's not about winning or losing. I would rather lose doing the right thing than win doing the wrong thing. Being consistent in character and integrity throughout the time I started. And you can go and check. This is not the first time I left PDP, if you don't know. In 2002, when I started this politics, I was a member of PDP. Go and read what Elizabeth wrote. I went to one meeting and I wanted to contribute, and people said, no, you can't contribute. No, I quite left them. I went to ABGA because I said, if I'm in a system where freedom of contribution is not allowed, I went to ABGA, campaigned, won the election, somebody else was declared. I didn't quarrel. I went to court. I became the first Nigerian to ever stay in court for 3 years until court declared me the winner. I didn't quarrel. Same thing is what you see in that consistency I'm saying. When I became governor, 6 months after, I was impeached. I didn't quarrel with those who impeached me. I went to court. Eventually, the court brought me back. I became the first Nigerian to come back from impeachment as a governor. Of course, less than 1 year after that, election was conducted when my tenure was just about 1 year. INEC conducted the election, declared somebody else winner, he became governor. I didn't quarrel. I went to court again. And all through to Supreme Court, I won. That is why you have staggered election in Nigeria today. It was because of me. I became the first person to say that example. My late mother taught me, always be glad for an experience. No matter what it costs you. Can I go back to the question you asked earlier about comments of Governor Wike yesterday? There's something he talked about. When he was talking, the one I think he mentioned was when he talked about issue of integrity. He said that even my going questions my integrity. I don't know how that was came in, but I think when we talk about integrity, we should talk about the integrity in management of public resources. That is what we should be talking about in this country. And when such things are mentioned about me, I feel maybe there's something missing somehow. So go and check my record as the governor. I was impeached for 3 reasons. 1, my office had a approved budget to be renovated for 298 million naira. I renovated everything with 43,200,000. My lodge, to repair and renovate the lodge where the governor lives, which is me, was 486 million naira. I did everything with 81 million naira. Number 3 item was that I was saving money without authority of the house. From day 1, I said we must save money. And I went through. For 8 years I was governor. Go ask any contractor. Whether any contractor was sat with me to talk about what is I'm entitled to, inflated any contract, any supplier, anybody. And when I left office, his record, I left $75 billion, $500 million at that time. Because it's public money. I was managing public trust. And I did so. For me, that is, when you talk about integrity, it questions your management of public trust and resources. Go to Anambra State today. I have no land given to me by Anambra State government. My managing director of my housing authority, Mike Wafo, is still alive. He gave me land and 2 houses. And I told him, I'm not entitled to it. I'm the manager of this. So, for me, nobody have ever seen me in my political life sharing money anywhere. I'm not saying I'm a saint, but I did things which I believed was right. If you have followed my mantra since I started this, I've always said, Seyi, the greatest tragedy of our country today is consumption and not production. It is sharing and not creating. I said I want to move the country from consumption to production. A country of 200 million people with a land size of 923,000 square kilometers cannot produce or feed itself. No export. So our total export is less than $30 billion.
How do you hope to change that narrative?
For 200 million people. Less than 30. That is including oil. Oil is about 80% of our foreign exchange earning. And so you can calculate how much that it is when you include that. So you're talking about, there's no way that can happen. There's no way that can sustain the country. It is not possible. Countries that are smaller in land size, in population, like I always mention, like Vietnam, 100 million, 331,000 square kilometers of land, total export last year, $312 billion. 97% are manufactured goods. There's no production here. It must change.
What would you do differently to turn around this very challenge of our country?
So you see me go around the country talking about trade. If you go through, number one, which are there for everybody to see, is issue of human development index. So first is you talk about issue of health, you talk about issue of education, you talk about the issue of per capita. All these issues are issues you need to invest adequately in. And then especially the last one, you can only increase people's per capita by tackling the economy. And you can't talk about tackling the economy without talking about trade. It is trade that is the main, call it engine or wheel of economy. And countries after countries, growth and measured, wealth measured by the trade of that nation. So that's the critical area where you need to invest. So I'm a trader. I've created wealth. I started as a micro, small, medium business. So I know what you can do in order to create wealth. Today we have massive insecurity, massive, problems all over the place. If you invest in the economy of this country and put millions of people that you have thrown into poverty out of poverty, so you reduce criminality. That has been done everywhere in the world. And we have talented young people, energetic, that we have not invested in. If you invest properly in them, give them access to capital, access to proper education.
Is the only Nigerian that is promoting failure. You leave your principal, Tinubu, to market him to us. Instead, they talk about Peter Obi when they even send you. Market Tinubu to me, Seyi. Give me one reason why I should vote Tinubu for 2027. You see that you're a very wicked person. Just because you benefit from the government, you don't care about your people. Because they benefit, I know you to be a very good person. Yes, I say Seyi don't help upcoming comedians, growing comedians. But this has nothing to do with the entertainment industry. It has to do with common Nigerians. Are you this wicked? Wait, as in, you can't come and say, now I want to insult Peter Obi. Now your mate. You want to insult person when no they reason you, when they even know you, when not send you. Market Tinubu to me, Seyi. As it is right now, you should be looking for ways to promote and market Tinubu to people. To the people that voted him last time because they will not vote for him again. What's it concern you and my Peter Obi? That's the man we are standing with. Convince me to leave Peter Obi to vote for Tinubu. Make me understand and make me know that yes, Tinubu is the man for 2027. You are not a good person. If you allow them collect small things like the one at the chop, when I go begin they misbehave. You are rent or mockery, I don't understand. D1 just the middle. You people need to come out and give us reasons why we should leave. Is Peter Obi your problem? Can you wait? As you just said, it make me stop to support Peter Obi. No, I want you to convince me to vote for Tinubu. You don't understand? Make me vote for him. You come and Peter Obi say he will not leave party, a party that is spoiled. We know. He left Abga. From Abga, he went to PDP. PDP is confused. The PDP not they confused. We cannot go there both PDP and APC. It's the Labour Party is not leaving. We are there. The reason why all these governors are moving from APC, from PDP to APC, is because they know they are not clean. Yes. All of them, they don't care about the people. They care about their pockets. All these governors moving. You left PDP to APC. What was happening in PDP? Were you not doing well? You won in PDP. Why are you going to APC? These are just wicked politicians. You are Seyi, you claim, say you get the mind of the people. Give me one reason why Tinubu should go again for 2027. You're a wicked person. Not because they behave like person. Come, you are black. May not be like say the color of your skin. They affect the way you think. I don't want to insult you. If you notice, I didn't mind my words. But you're supposed to get woman sympathy. That's why they say Seyi do like this. Do it. Think well. Convince me one reason why I should vote for Tinubu, and I'll stop supporting Peter Obi. Just one.